Hi everybody, welcome to Tuesday, November the 12th here on Midas Letter. I'm here with my co-host and good friend, Special Head Milewski.
As they say in Quebec.
The head. Take your head out of your ass. Yesterday was Remembrance Day in Canada, Veterans Day in the United States.
Yeah.
Today we're having Cannabis Remembrance Day. So I want everybody to just take a moment of silence for the cannabis industry, which is now
officially
dead.
Although we're seeing pockets of excitement.
Pockets of resistance. Pockets of enthusiasm.
Halo was up 40% at one point today.
Halo Labs.
Halo!
Our erstwhile sponsor up 40%. What was the press release that drove that sucker?
I don't see a press release.
Earnings? No, what?
No. They closed the tranche of financing for 900 and...
Oh, there you go. They've got money.
I've got money.
That's what I want.
Could have been we might have seen a gold reversal today.
Did you see that Organigram was down? I last saw 68 cents down.
OGI.
Oh,
shall we look at the ticker? Shall we look at the ticker?
Pull up that chart, Eddie.
Oh,
got ourselves a downer.
OGI.
But I know why she's down.
I'm gonna tell you.
I know why Organigram is down. You want to hear why? Organigram published yesterday that they're going to announce their full year financials next week, I believe it is.
Right.
And they already cautioned that in Q4 they made less revenue than in Q3. Revenue has deteriorated by over 30%.
We got a 6-month chart up here. Just take a quick look here, people. We saw the big decline as we head into the last few months.
Break through that last support level there?
That's the low there, and I think we're right about the same level. Hard to say.
Drops through there, and what happens?
Keeps going lower. But you're saying the numbers didn't really look that good.
Well, the number is 80 million for the full year. They did 16 million in the fourth quarter. They did 23, I believe, in the third quarter.
So the rate of revenue
is deteriorating.
It's sort of the running rate is deteriorating.
The run rate has decreased.
Okay.
However, one could
you know what?
One could argue that it's an anomalous quarter. Nah.
well, some of the
cannabis space.
You know, some of the companies like Labs came out today, even though it's down a little bit. I think they had a pre-tax earnings of $5 million.
All right, maybe we should look at that financial. I wonder if we have it here. Oh, fantastic! That's Aleafia, Kronos. We got Kronos Group here. Metafarm Labs. Okay, let's see. How did they do here? Revenue, 43 million. Cost of sales, 28.6 million. Gross profit, 14.75. Operating income, 5.4 million. We're going to round it up. Net income, 3.2 million. Earnings per share, on a non-diluted basis, 3 cents per share.
Which company are we talking about right now?
Metafarm Labs.
Yeah, okay. Let's put up Labs here. I'll just do that quickly.
Yeah, so, okay.
Put up the Labs.
So, congratulations to them.
Well, they're doing the job, right? They're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And the stock has run from about the $3 level at the beginning of October to over $5, and today, profit taking.
No kidding.
On the good news, but then the stock had moved up in anticipation of the good news.
Now, let's take a look at Kronos Group's financials, because Kronos published Q3 net revenue of 12.7 million and net income of $787.9 million.
Wow. Why would you even want to have any revenue? Just
I don't
make
know.
money. What, are they printing money over there?
I don't know. Net revenue, $12.7 million. Okay, so let's see. There's a gain on revaluation of derivative liabilities.
Uh-oh.
Note 14.
That sounds
We
like
need
something.
the notes printed out to this statement. If you guys can quickly print out, particularly note 14, we want to take a look at that.
Is that an arcane kind of...
Gain on revaluation of derivative liabilities. Revaluation of derivative
So this isn't...
liabilities.
That wasn't operating income.
No.
That's a total...
No. So the company took some of that 2.8 billion Canadian dollars and invested it in some derivatives.
Maybe they
Which, if they made 800 million on that,
800 million?
that net income of 787 million.
Okay.
835 million of which came from the gain on the revaluation of derivative liabilities. Now, I can't wait to read note 14. We're just having that printed up right now.
I wouldn't even want to try to read it.
But interesting to me, might change the name from Kronos. Well, it doesn't actually say Cannabis in the name. Cannabis Trading Group, Inc. Cannabis. Anyways, as long as they made money, that's all Altria cares about. I'm pretty sure that's all that Mike Gorenstein
I don't think
and
that's
his team-
actual cash money, though. I don't think that's cash money. I think that's a...
No, well, obviously it's revaluation of liabilities. So basically,
They owe less.
They took a liability and they reduced it just through what process we don't know and said, actually, that liability column owes us $835 million. So is it conceivable that it has something to do with the Altria investment? Because derivative liability, anyways, we could speculate all day.
You know what? I in a former life,
So
I
we'll
was
put that one
an
aside.
accountant.
Oh, here come the notes.
Uh-oh.
Here come the notes from the lovely and talented Laura.
Hand from the lovely
All right,
talented
note
hand.
14. On March 8th, 2019, previously announced a company by Altria Investments. Okay, there we go. Pursuant to a subscription agreement, upon closing, Altria Investment consisted of 149.831 million shares and one warrant. Okay. This note, just so you know, is 2 pages long. So I'm not going to read the whole note now. We're going to read it during an interview. And the other financial statement that we have here is from Aleafia Health. And Aleafia announced rather robust earnings of net revenue of 4.9 million. Actually, technically, this rounds up to 5 million even, because 5 million bucks net revenue, penny per share, 276 million shares outstanding.
Well, let's
So there's
take a
two out of 3 earnings reports are positive.
Okay, let's take a look at the Aleafia chart.
Let's take a look at that.
Okay, ALEF, here we go.
Oh,
Okay, I'm going to click on it, and I want to point out a couple of things. There's your downtrend. There's your friend. In other words,
I don't think that's our friend.
and then look at this rally leading into the earnings, and now the stock got to $1.05. Could have been a short cover rally because they're making money. It looks pretty good. Stock's back to 82 cents, 81.82. So
kidding.
can't hold a gain. And maybe it's temporary. Maybe it's going to go back there. But I'll tell you what I don't like about this chart.
What's that?
If you look right here, right there, there's a big wick on that candle. Big wicks and big tails are, and huge volume, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So look at it. It was overbought. Got the RSI got over 80 down. Look at, got to go back to the drawing board. Okay.
Go back to the drawing board, Ed.
Here we go. So look at the volume. Big volume. Big wick. But
RSI over 80.
yeah,
And
through the Bollinger Band.
Yeah.
All the things we look for to try and determine whether there's a change in direction. Look, there's been so much damage done that if some good news comes out, the stock moves, it'll bring on selling. Because liquidity seems to be what everybody wants.
Interesting.
Anyway, that's...
Okay, well, so despite the good news of a penny per share, the stock is in free fall.
Well,
it's correcting back to where...
Correcting back to where...
To the trend.
Yeah. Now maybe it's going to go down back to, 80, 75, 80 and stay there for a while and then resume its upward trend. But, these companies got to keep producing. They got to every quarter show results.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not in the game of betting on what assets are worth anymore. We're on the game of we want to see results.
Yeah. Let's take a look on that note of the... Okay, so there's the 3 results.
Okay.
We have other results coming up this week. Let's see. Village Farms, Aurora, T-God, Canopy, and Tilray are yet to report this week. So this week is kind of key to what the sentiment is going to be like going forward in the cannabis space. And if the slaughter continues in the earnings department, then expect the slaughter to continue in the stock department. Would you say that's a fair assessment, Edward?
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
However, if by some unexpected miracle, Tilray, Canopy, T-God, Aurora, and Village Farms all report positive earnings, and here we are on the brink of tax loss selling season, but I don't think anybody has anything left to sell. Because I'm pretty sure they would have sold it all by now, since cannabis really was the only game in town. Now it's not even there. Anyway, so I think that we could see a flatlining, maybe a consolidation along the bottom, and January, probably the end of December, people come back in and start buying again because the whole thing's been so oversold. If you were, if you were to stand back from this market from 50,000 feet and look at it, you would say, well, okay, the cannabis companies aren't worth nothing, so come December, at the end of December, once all risk of tax loss downdraft is done, I'm going to start accumulating my favorite names that are not going to be coming to the market for cash because they make tons of cash.
Right.
So who is that? Trulieve, for sure.
Trulieve is, they got they're up to 39.
Curaleaf, for sure.
Yeah.
Charlotte's Web, for sure.
Yeah.
Who else doesn't need cash? Canopy doesn't need cash.
Canopy doesn't need cash.
Canopy has tons of cash.
Tons of cash.
If Canopy wanted to go into the pornographic film business right now, they could do that if they wanted. They have that much cash. And however, Canopy is essentially a Constellation brand subsidiary at this point. Almost.
Yeah.
So I doubt that the boys at Constellation want to go into the pornography business. However, I could be mistaken.
They're talking about Medilabs. Their earnings per share were 22 cents a share.
Yes, we did talk about them.
Yeah. Okay.
So, that's what we're going to wait and see. And next week we're shooting our show live from California, from the Midas Letter Los Angeles studio in West Hollywood at Sunset Boulevard in La Brea. If you're a publicly traded cannabis company and your CEO wants to come down to our studio and check it out, send us an email at midasletter@midasletter.com, and we'd be happy to have you on in Los Angeles. That's 18th to the 22nd of November, and we will see you there. Now, that being said, let's take a quick look at our indices. Or did you know that also the word indexes is also now considered correct?
Yeah, you know what? They're just about letting any word in now.
Yeah, I know. It's like, if it's simpler, then it flies.
Yeah. Ain't, for instance.
Ain't is a word.
Is a word.
It's a word. Nobody can say it ain't. Anyways,
it ain't a word.
It ain't a word. It is a word. Large cap index is down 2.92% this hour. 61.34, not the lowest it's been, but getting there. The lowest was back here on the 1st of October is where we set the all-time low with the large cap index. The small cap index also trending much lower today, down 2.87%. The Midas Letter CSE index is down 0.53%, and the venture index is down 2.7%. So again, the cannabis
indices
sector is heading lower. Now, here's an interesting little fact. Today, as of about 20 minutes ago, the CSE had only 10 stocks that had traded over 100,000 shares.
Wasn't it not too long ago when
there were only 10 stocks?
well, when the CSE was it was getting so much action, so much volume.
Well, the CSE, the marijuana exchange, as we fondly referred to
the marijuana
it.
exchange. Cannabis Stock Exchange.
But only 10 companies listed on the
Cannabis Stock
CSE.
Exchange. I didn't know that.
Anyways.
Boy, you learn so much on this show. I just love it.
Boy, you're easily impressed.
I feel fulfilled.
Fulfilled.
Fool-filled.
Fool-filled. Now that's sounding realistic. Let's take a look at the companies trading on the CSE and see who's responsible for this horrible downdraft. Curaleaf Holdings is one bright note on the CSE. They're up 1.22% to 663. Green Thumb Industries, also, I would say Green Thumb Industries is also one of those companies who is going to remain standing after the deluge, après le déluge, moi. Anyways, Green Thumb Industries, Harvest Health and Recreation is bouncing around in the $3.50 to $4 range. They did announce, let's see, I thought I heard there was an announcement about some financing there. No, they opened a dispensary, though, in Johnstown, Pennsylvania was the last news. Oh, that's today. They announced that they had opened a dispensary in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, the 4th location in the Commonwealth. That's got to be a reference to something that, I don't know. Harvest Health and Recreation to hold third quarter 2019 conference call on the 20th.
Really?
20th, that's next week.
Let's make a note. Let's diarize it.
Yeah, let's maybe we'll sit in on that call.
I would think so.
Let's buy some stock even. No, we're not buying stock today.
Nope.
Actually, we've decided we're never going to buy stock on the show or tell anybody what we're buying or selling at all. In fact, all of that is just going to be for the subscriber newsletter. And probably most of you don't really care about that, which is fine with us. However, that being said, we are making the fully paid subscription service to Midas Letter available again starting in December. Why? Because the market is about to collapse and we have discerned a path towards making money in the stock market collapse that is currently actually starting to wrap its fingers around every market except the FANG stocks, pretty much.
Well,
FANG stocks are next. The brightest fall last, but they fall the hardest.
They're talking about the market breadth not really being indicative of the stock market. Like, in other words, there's only a few the money's only flowing into ETFs and the FANG stocks.
Right.
Well.
And why? Because the FANG stocks are buying back their stock.
Yeah.
And driving the price higher.
Yeah.
Reducing dilution. So really, it's just a big Ponzi scheme. Anyways, my opinion about the S&P 500 is a matter of public record on multiple occasions. So whatever. We won't go down that road. You know what I want to talk about today is mining. Not mining in the sense of like a company that mines and digs stuff out of the ground, but mining. I'll keep you mining for a heart of gold, and I'm growing old. Near, 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 near. You know that song. Anyway, so the mining I'm talking about is actually mining for a heart of gold, mining for profit. Gold took a shit kicking this week.
In the morning. Well, it's been had a brutal week, and today it reversed. Well, it hasn't reversed yet for sure, but it's about up $15 from the bottom. It looked brutal this morning, and yet
gold is now at $14.58, up 260 on the day.
Yeah.
Which would be starting at, I guess, 6 a.m. today. But let's see. Let's pull out this chart here. And, well, I don't need that up. Okay, so here is the action. Oh, wait a sec here. Let's not go 30 seconds. Let's take a Let's go year to date on gold, and we will look at the day numbers. Okay, so there you have it. There is the shit kicking that gold has taken. It was bouncing along in this range here, 1,500 to 1,515, very nicely since August, having risen by, well, what was that? From 1288 to, wow, 15 and change. And now it's getting this treatment. But look
at that! Look at that last candle.
Look at that candle.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Thor's hammer? What does that mean? Get your pecker out of the way of that zipper. It's going to be a tight one. Anyways, so whatever. Gold is, showing a bit of a reversal today, but that was quite the sell-off. So since the 4th of November, it's dropped from 1512 to 1458. That is what you would call a concerted dumping of gold. Now, since that probably happened in the futures market, and increasingly there was a piece in what was the publication you saw that gold, the futures market is a tool of manipulation.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting, but the mainstream media is starting to catch on, which it's only taken them 20 years.
20 years or
we'll
2,000 years?
We'll take it. They've got the audience, not necessarily the brain power or the vision to see what's happening, but at least they do have the power of repetition. So they repeat what they hear with reliability, and they put it in terms that even the dumbest individual can understand. I know, because that's me I'm talking about. And yes, the futures market is the tool of manipulation. I don't know. We don't want to dwell on that.
No.
However, that being said, there are
Well, who have we got on the show today?
Sorry?
Who have we got on the show today?
Who have we got on the show today? Oh, that's a good question. Today I spoke to Andy Hale from Adastra Labs. And that was an 8-minute conversation. And here it is.
You know what?
I'm joined now by Adastra Labs Holdings Limited CEO Andy Hale. Andy, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Andy, let's start with a quick overview. What is the business of Adastra Labs?
So Adastra Lab Holdings is comprised of two primary subsidiaries. Adastra Labs Incorporated, which is a standard processing license applicant with Health Canada, based out of a facility, 13,000 square feet in British Columbia, Lower Mainland in Langley. Another subsidiary is Chemi Analytics, which is a recently licensed analytical testing lab for cannabis, co-located in the facility. About 800 square feet of the facility is devoted to that testing. And we believe that puts us in a good position to provide our standard processing clients extracts for cannabis and extracts-related formulations and products with unique quality as well as testing services in one bundled package here at the site in Langley.
Very good. Okay, and so how is the downturn in the cannabis affecting your business?
Well, from our perspective, we think we've picked the right time to be working on a model that really is focusing on where the value add is in the cannabis industry. So we've steered clear of cultivation. Nothing wrong with cultivation because it's a necessary aspect of the whole value chain for cannabis. But our view is that the value add and the higher margins are in the extracts related products and formulations. We've focused on that. We are a purpose-built, purpose-renovated facility, former food manufacturing facility. We've spent about 4 months getting fully rezoned in the Lower Mainland, first facility to be rezoned for cannabis standard processing and analytical testing. And we feel that focusing on the extracts and concentrates along with a co-located testing lab will allow us to focus on Cannabis 2.0, which recently enacted on the 17th of October. And we think that the markets for cannabis products are in a dip. And if you look at the successful cannabis companies in the Canadian space, it's the cannabis and extracts related companies, and that's where we intend to put our stake in the ground.
Oh, fantastic. And so the analytical business, is that going to be a major contributor to your revenue, or is that more or less a side business that's complementary to your main business?
Yeah, I would say that it's complementary. When I first did the business model for this standard processor, when I looked at the quality control required, when you look at the timing that you want to get those results back, and your ability to be nimble in terms of formulations and providing services to your clients, it just made complete sense to develop a analytical testing lab on this premises. And it will generate revenue, but it's really there to support the client base that is coming to our standard processor for both quality, because just like in real estate, it's location, 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 and extracts its quality, 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 and checking that quality along the way. And the industry has really seen degradation in batches and failed crops and failed extract products. So smaller batches mean more testing costs. So having a co-located subsidiary really drives that down for us.
Yeah. Okay. So are you actually going to produce the edibles themselves, or just the concentrates?
So we'll do formulations for edibles. We're currently not going to produce edibles on this site, but if you're an edibles manufacturer and you say, I need this formulation to produce my edible, it's my my API, my active ingredient that I want to add, we'll produce it to the specifications of the client. We'll make sure it's tested, passes all the Health Canada testing regimes, and then we'll provide it to you so that you can then add it into your edible product.
Mm-hmm. And so at this point, do you have clients lined up for that function?
So we are working with some folks on edibles contracts. Our current contracts are related to contract processing and white labeling for concentrates market that should be on the shelves by December. We're very excited later on to be rolling in some brands that hopefully in the near future that we'll be able to fulfill on our own with our own extracts and concentrates products that we develop. And that's another subsidiary we have, Adastra Brands, as part of the package for the company.
I see. And so this is a Canada-only operation at this point?
Yes, it is a Canada-only operation at this point. But we have built our facility out to good manufacturing European Union specifications so that we can get that certification that'll allow us to expand beyond the Canadian borders into the EU, European countries. Our analytical testing lab, Kenya, is also built out so that we can get certified in ISO 17025, which is another requirement for any company that's exporting to the EU has to have its products tested by an ISO 17025 lab. So we have our eyes wide open on those processes. We know they're multi-year certification processes. They don't happen overnight, but we have the long game in mind in terms of growing beyond the Canadian market.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so the business of testing and creating formulations, is that that's kind of a unique little niche in the whole cannabis value chain. I don't know of any other companies that are doing quite that. Is there a big competitive landscape, or not really that much?
There's a couple of big competitors out there. The two primary competitors would be obviously MetaPharm Labs, who's been very successful in the space, and Valens, GrowWork. Valens also has its own testing lab, but not co-located, I believe, is the same as we are. But they're both, if you look at their books, they're one of the few companies that are generating good EBITDA and net income. And as I said previously, it's the extracts and concentrate focused business-to-business providers that are one of the few portions of the cannabis sector that are doing well.
Sure. Okay, so then the passage of the sort of Cannabis 2.0 rules that we've been hearing about, that changes everything for you guys, I guess, and really facilitates your business. Is it a case that we're going to look to Q1 2020 to really see the ramp up start to happen?
Yes, I believe so, because the products won't be really on the shelves until December timeframe in the provinces. So you won't see that revenue coming in until approximately the middle of the quarter, Q1 2020, and that fits perfectly for our timing. We really are poised to conduct a reverse takeover transaction here by the end of the month. and we're submitting our evidence package so that we're going to be licensed by late Q4 and ready to start production right in Q1. So timing couldn't be better for us, and we think we're hitting the market at the right time because we think we're sort of bottoming out. So it's just a perfect timing for us.
You bet. All right, Andy, that's a great introduction to the company. We'll leave it there for now and come back to you soon. Thank you very much for joining me today.
And thank you very much for having me.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Make sure you never miss a show by subscribing to our YouTube channel and clicking on the little notifications bell. If you're interested in getting monthly actionable investment ideas in the cannabis space to your inbox, subscribe to the newsletter at midasletter.com. So, looking at the Kronos Group Note 14, it is a $787 million gain on the revision of a derivative liability associated with the warrant to acquire additional shares of Kronos by Altria as part of that original financing. And so the derivative referred to is the Altria warrant. And I was just reading about top-up rights, but let's just say that the note is very detailed, and so we've got one of our in-house analysts looking at it right now, and so my point here is that it's too complicated for this pea brain to deal with right now without my abacus, and since I forgot my abacus, I am going to let the mighty cerebral firepower of the in-house analyst, Mr. Cameron Day, carry the day and tell us what the fuck it means.
So spending 40 years in this crazy world of Bay
40?
Street.
I thought you were here. I thought you were 60.
No. I've only been involved in the business for 42 or 43 years.
What did you do before that?
I was an accountant.
You were an accountant? Really?
Then a farmer.
And a farmer. Now you're talking.
Now I'm talking.
See, Mike, I finally figured out what I want to be when I grow up. You know what it is?
Farmer.
Farmer.
Farmer in the Dell.
A farmer in the dell. A farmer in the dell. Now, sing that song. Tell me you sing that song and you do not remember the happiest moments of your childhood. None of this Fed bullshit. None of these derivatives, futures, Euro bullshit. So I'm going to the farm.
I want to just say something to the viewers.
Okay.
What I've learned, for instance, like I don't really understand that technical, the accounting jargon that they're using.
The mumbo jumbo.
And I'm not. Kronos, I'm sure is being compliant with.
Oh yeah.
But you know what I do? I say, okay, look at the stock. What's the stock doing? Is the stock flying up? No. Now, why is that? Because the people that know that's just
the people that know
that
that do
no.
Yeah,
that takes off your hair. That's right. The no.
That's a no. That's what we used to call my grandmother. Nunu. No. Nana. But she used to say that's a no-no. When Nana said that's a no-no, you knew you're in deep cock-a-doo-doo.
Keep cock-a-doo-doo.
Keep cock-a-doo-doo. Anyways, that's how you know that language is in a deteriorative phase here.
Yeah.
And I think that we're actually going back to grunts, groans, pointing, and just clubbing, victims on the head and dragging them back to the cave to have your way with them.
Well, you know what? In some ways, when I use a lot of emojis when I text because I find an emoji says more than you can try to say, right?
Picture's worth 1,000 words.
Duh. So I always say to people, I say, when you send me a text, I don't know if you're happy, if you're sad, what's the context?
Drunk.
Yeah, you're crazy.
High.
Are you crazy again?
Mad. Yeah.
I know. I'm not, the word thing doesn't do it for me anymore.
Anyways, here's a look at the Kronos candle of the day down here on my, there, see that down there? Hold it.
Hold it.
You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up
look at this candle. Holy shit.
Look, hey, whoa, squirrel. Where the hell's my drawing app? Screw it.
Squirrel.
You
can squirrel it away.
Okay, so.
Squirrel it away.
Squirrel away. Oh, no, that didn't work. What the hell happened there? I hit the app and nothing happens. No toolbar, nothing. Oh, well, that's not working anymore. But anyway, so yeah, obviously sell-off in the face of the $787 million net income of... so this is the thing.
I mean, they didn't make that money. That's just financial engineering. If that was made that money, the stock could be at $50 right now.
Okay, so tell me, what's the difference between this and what the Fed does?
Well, I think, you know, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say...
No, I don't
the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree.
Ooh.
Which means, in this particular case, hey, monkey see, monkey do. Like there's some crazy rules out there, obfuscation.
So are you suggesting that the behavior in corporate America takes what is allowable and what is not from governing the government and leadership of America? I think that's a fair assessment.
You know, they've got rules for the tax man, they've got rules for accountants, and you know that's the big reconciliation at the end of the day. I mean, at the end of the day, did more cash come in than go out? That's really what you need to know if things are going well. If more's coming in than going out, your purse should fatten, right?
So if the stock sells off on an announced gain, based on a revaluation,
an announced gain or an alleged gain?
Well, I would call this an alleged gain because a revalued derivative liability does not constitute income in my world because I could revalue all of my liabilities and their derivatives, and the holders of those liabilities would not.
If the stock would have went up, they wouldn't have had this gain. That's what it sounds like to me. In other words,
the stock wouldn't have gone up
because these warrants underwater, so there's no liability.
Anyways, we're going to get some thoughts on this. This is
all the accountants out in the world are going, well, look at these jackasses.
They don't know what they're talking about. Well, great. Explain it to us. Hey, if you know what's going on, explain it to us. We asked for Mike Gorenstein to join us, but we get the same response that we get from all the cannabis companies right now.
We're busy.
We're not doing interviews right now.
Why?
I don't know. Because I think that there's a few tough questions that probably the only answer is I don't know. And so who wants to be going on a show and saying I don't know?
True Leaf is down, Hexo's down, Cure Leaf is up a nickel, one bright light.
Yeah, well, Cure Leaf isn't going to need to go back to the trough because they got cash. And they're making cash from how many stores is it now? 39 in Florida?
You know who goes back
or is back that True Leaf?
No, True Leaf has 39 stores in Florida.
And Cure Leaf?
42? I don't.
You just throw a dart at the board? Let's see. Let's take a quick look at a Cure Leaf press release.
Let's take a peek.
Should say in the press release about Cure Leaf section, and here we are. Oh, of course, we've got our knuckle draggers at CDAR still causing us to punch in a freaking text code. Okay. Cure Leaf has 49 dispensaries in 12 states, 14 cultivation sites, and 13 processing sites.
Really?
Yes. So they're all good.
Okay.
Yeah, but Cure Leaf's reporting this week, and that's going to be interesting. This is really a telling week because it's this week that we're going to find out whether, we might make this show starting next week about a cooking show. How to cook with
marijuana?
No, I don't think so. I don't think. Have you ever cooked with marijuana? Generally, whatever you cook with marijuana, it has to be something pretty good tasting because cooking with marijuana makes shit taste like shit. I mean, I'm not kidding.
Well, I don't know what shit tastes like personally.
I bet you do. I don't believe that for a second, mister.
Well, on second thought, you
don't get to where you are.
Doesn't taste that bad.
No, that's right.
No, wait a minute.
Nobody gets to your age without eating a little humble pie, and I know that that's not chocolate pie.
That's not.
Anyways, this show's going down. This is normally where we toss to another guest just to try to bring some
civility,
respectability back to the show, but we don't have another guest because our last.
Well, why don't you pretend I'm the guest?
Oh, okay. So, young fellow, what do you do for a living?
Well, as little as possible. As you found out.
Yeah.
Okay, look, It looks like gold may have reversed today.
Yeah.
The S&P, which was looking like it wanted to go in, I'm going to put up a chart right now because I think we might have seen a little mini double top. And here away we go. Who said that? And away we go. Jackie Gleason.
Jackie Gleason.
Yeah, remember that? And away we go.
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
To the moon, Alice! Anyways,
Okay,
we're going to need some... what do you got, Ed?
Okay, I wanna, this is important. This
All
is
right.
really important. Okay, so let's do a 5-day chart, and let's see if I'm right. Well, no, I'm not right. Let's do it. Let's do a
See, only you can admit that.
look. If you don't ever admit you're wrong, you're going to find out you're going to be very lonely.
Yeah.
Okay, so look. We got up to 3,100, just got over it
3,100.
by a snick.
The S&P got up to
And now we're back to 3090, which is below the highs here. Look, I'm just saying it's not a fait accompli that we're going to go up.
accompli. Bonjour.
That we're going to go.
Napoleon.
That's what I'll do. I'll
You
lip
lip
sync.
sync. Core One Labs flagship product Cannastrips lands in 8 new stores. That's
8 new stores.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's try this again. Kronos Group Q3. Wait, should I put my hand behind your back?
Yeah, you sure.
Heritage announced vape pen agreement with James E. Wagner Cultivation.
What's your middle initial, by the way? It's not E, is it?
Lancelot. James E. West? No. Dingbat. James D. West. James Dingbat West. No, that's you. You're Dingbat Milewski. I'm Wingnut West. James W. West. M. Hardeen announces a partnership with Robes, Inc. to cultivate and distribute Robes Cannabis. That's an interesting name, Robes.
Yeah.
Mojave Jane Brands announced an uplisting to the OTCQB venture market.
Wow.
Is that an uplisting? I don't know if you might find some arguments there.
Yeah, because I don't think there's any, there are no rules on that exchange.
Right. So I guess that is an uplisting.
It's an uplisting for them. It's a downlisting for everyone else. I don't know.
Namaste's CanMart signs a supply agreement with the Ontario and Saskatchewan provincial agencies. I think that means they're going to start selling shit. Primo Nutraceuticals signs a lease agreement with Aqua Farming Tech. I think Primo has given up on cannabis and is going into salmon now. Aqua Farming Tech of Southern California to grow 20 acres of certified organic hemp. Primo Pharmaceuticals is signed. Boy, you know, we're going to go on tour when we're in California next week. We're going to go visit all of the acreages that we can identify that are growing large-scale hemp projects, and we're going to go see what the status is.
Even if they're like somewhere in Alaska?
No, in California.
Oh, in California.
Just in California. Just
Anywhere in California. You go to anywhere. You know how big California is, young fella?
Yeah, I do, as a matter of fact,
How
because
big?
I fly from one end to the other every time I go there, because I love Northern California.
Do you know that Pelee Island?
Pelee Island?
Whoa! Okay.
Segue, tangent.
Okay, wait a minute.
We were talking about California.
Wait a minute. Pelee Island is on a parallel that's below the northern part of California. Pelee Island is the southernmost tip of Canada.
It was Pelee Island.
Pelee. Let's go play.
Belize.
So they're a little bit lower than the northern part of California. That's how south Pelee Island is.
No.
I'm not making this shit up.
I think you are.
And it's a birder's paradise, okay?
It's a birder's paradise.
Yeah.
See, there's the birding thing again. That's twice in one day.
I know. I got to tell you, if I had to come back, I'd want to come back as a harpy eagle.
A harpy
eagle could take catch a monkey in its talons and crush its skull.
Really? Only a harpy eagle can do that?
Well, they say they're one of the most powerful eagles.
No
there was
kidding.
another eagle from not too long ago, a few hundred years. Anyway, change the subject.
Now, let's go back to Pele Island because I'm now looking at it on my map. Let's pull that up on the screen here.
Yeah. You got it? Now you're going to see if I'm
Yeah.
Pele Island.
Okay, so there's Pele Island. Where is Pele Island? It's in Lake Erie.
Yeah.
That looks like Lake Erie.
Yeah, there you go.
And Pele Island is the southernmost point in Canada?
Yeah.
Really?
Southernmost point in Canada.
Okay, let's zoom out to California.
Okay.
And, okay, there's...
The northern, I'm not saying the south of California, I'm saying the north part of California.
Okay, well...
look, we're almost, it looks like
they don't put the
I know, but
longitudes
look where San Fran is, for God's sakes.
I know. Well, it looks like if following the curvature of the Earth here, like if you follow that border between Indiana and Michigan right across, then you're into Northern California.
Did you not know that? I thought everybody knew that.
No, I didn't. I don't know shit. I told you.
You watch this show and you learn a hell of a lot.
No kidding, eh? Okay, so that's interesting. So Pele Island should be able to grow some pretty badass weed. Because the best weed in California comes from north.
You know, there's bed and breakfasts on Pele Island.
Pele. I thought we'd agreed.
I like Pele.
You like Pele?
Pele.
You like
And you know what else there are on Pele Island? There are. I guess there's an unbelievable amount of snakes.
Really?
I'm not making this shit up.
Wow.
Snakes.
Sounds like a good place for some of those harpy falcons.
A lot of politicians hang out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, which variety of snakes? Well, that's interesting. How did we get onto that conversation?
Let's go to Pele Island.
Tomorrow?
Best time to go, I think, is March.
We should
March
drive down to California, actually. Bring the crew, and we should all just go to California. Keep driving south until we get to some place where it's, temperature's warm. This is the interesting thing. Like, all the money's in the north.
Yeah.
And along the equator, I mean, there's money there, but it's only visiting money. Like, residential money doesn't generally gravitate towards the equator. It gravitates towards the tropics, which is to say not the tropical regions of the world, but the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn, which represents the equidistant point between the pole and the equator. Is that not correct?
Say it again?
I knew you weren't listening to me.
I wasn't listening.
Boy, oh boy, if I was your wife right now, I would be angry. I mean, for not listening to me.
Anyway,
if I was your lawyer right now, and you were ignoring me,
if you're my lawyer right now,
I'd be angry.
I'd be getting a new lawyer.
If I was your financial advisor right now, and you would stop listening to me, I'd be angry.
I hear you. But you know what? You know that most of the time when I'm talking, you're not listening to me.
Yeah, I'm always listening.
Bullshit, you are.
See, look, I respond.
What did I just say?
You said I'm not listening.
No, I said, what did I just say? Jesus.
Anyways, I think that if we're going to go to Pele Island, we should keep on going to California. You know what? I think that would make a great video. Yeah. Us renting a
There was a terrible. There was a hunting expedition to Pele Island, and the idiots had loaded up the thing, and there was ice, and they took off, and it crashed, and the damn plane went to the bottom of Lake Erie. This happened about...
With the idiots on it?
Well...
It's not very...
No, that wasn't very... I shouldn't say it that way.
Don't speak ill of the
everybody,
dead. Or are they okay?
Everybody passed away.
Maybe they're... Oh, are you sure about that?
Oh, no, because I know one of my neighbors, his brother was on the plane.
Oh.
Terrible. But it was just one of these pilot error things where, when there's ice, sleet, don't fly unless you can de-ice it.
Yeah.
Because it affects the, that thing with where the thing goes over,
Lift. We need to do a dance around those moves.
Oh boy!
So what do you think? What do you say we load up the camper van Beethoven and drive across the country to California, shooting our escapades all along the way, visiting cannabis dispensaries and grow ops everywhere we go? What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we're doing. New show.
You know who keeps hanging in there with a reasonable prices? Planet Hollywood.
Planet Hollywood in Vegas.
Up 18 cents to 208.
No kidding,
That's
eh?
9%.
Well, let's go look at the bright spots in the cannabis space, shall
Okay,
we? Right
let's
now.
do it.
So
Let's
we'll
do it.
start with the large cap index, and bright spots on the large cap, as we said earlier, is Green Thumb Industries up 2.48%, Curaleaf Holdings up 1.37%, and that's it. So in both cases, American multi-state operators are the ones who are up. Let's look at the small cap index and wade through. Okay, so let's see who the bright spots are. So Neptune Wellness is up 7%, bright spot, and basically an extraction company. Namaste Technologies is up 6% to 40 cents. Body and Mind is up 4.17% to $1. Planet 13 is up 3.37%. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 winners on the small cap index, and the largest by market cap would have to be, I guess, Supreme is up 2 cents to, no, let's see, Supreme's market cap is 310 million still. Slang's market cap 126. Neptune's market cap is 2.3 billion. Oh, sorry, 386 million. Wow, I was going to say I just gave them a bump. Anyways.
A bump?
A bump. There's a bump on a log in the hole in the bottom of the sea. There's a bump on the log in the hole in the bottom of the sea. There's a hole. There's a hole. There's a hole in the bottom of the sea.
Totally unrehearsed.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, how about that?
How about that, eh?
How about that?
We're going to have to work on that. A little barbershop. Little barbershop quartet
Duo.
action. Barbershop duo. That's right. We couldn't afford 4 guys, so
No.
there's only 2 of us. What else? Okay, so let's look at some bright spots on the CSE.
Okay.
I mean, let's just get through that.
Can we look at the 10?
No.
I want to look at the interest rate thing for 1 second.
Okay, you go do that.
I just want to, because I think it's important to note that if these interest rates get out of control, then there's all hell's going to break loose. Okay, 10-year rate 191, so that's down 3 basis points or whatever. It was 194 yesterday. It got up in here to 196, 7. Okay, close to 2, but not quite 2. We're backing off a bit. When interest rates back off, gold goes up. What happened today?
Interest rates
Went up.
and
Went
gold,
down.
Gold went up.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, after you.
No, after you.
No, after you. I was going to say that the same companies that are up on the CSE, on the small cap index, are the ones that are up on the CSE index, because they're CSE listed companies, obviously, because they're American multi-state operators. So taking a look at the TSX Composite today, it is up 14.94%. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. I know these big. I guess there's now 2 companies that have a market caps over $1 trillion: Amazon and Microsoft. Sorry. Microsoft and Apple.
Apple, yeah.
Yeah. And Amazon's a close third.
Did you know that Wales is green-lit cannabis-based medicine, and Northern Ireland is considering cannabis-based medicine? Boy, nothing slow about these guys, eh? The whole cannabis industry has emerged, become a bubble, the bubble's collapsed, and now everybody's gone home, and the National Health Service in England is thinking of legalizing cannabis in Wales. That is so funny. Talk about a fractured universe, eh?
Yeah.
A New Jersey man is suing Amazon for firing him over his medical marijuana use.
Well, that might.
He filed a lawsuit in October against Amazon, who fired him because they did not because he did not advise his superiors of his medical marijuana use.
Because he was smoking pot like 24/7.
Well, no, but listen to that. He's fired because he didn't tell his employers that he was a marijuana patient.
So do you have to tell your employer of all the medication you're on?
Well, this is the thing. If I don't think that's. I think that would be a violation of privacy rules in the United States, and I don't think that that you can force somebody.
Every country has different rules when it comes to these things, right? Like there's no way the human resources, or what do they call that department? Human
HR.
HR.
Human resources.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, human resources. Everybody's different, right?
Yes, we are all different.
Canada's more moderate than the U.S. for sure, right? By far.
In what respect?
Well, a lot of things. Marijuana use.
Marijuana use?
Yeah. Socialism.
I don't know. I think there's. I would say on a per capita basis, Canadians must be equal to or close to equal to Americans. I mean, it depends where you go. In BC, everybody smokes weed. If you go to like Prince Edward Island, the number is much lower on a per capita basis. Wasn't the lowest per capita usage of cannabis as measured by Health Canada in Prince Edward Island?
No, I think it was Ontario.
Was it Ontario?
I think it was Ontario, and I think, yeah.
Huh.
I can't remember.
Anyways.
Because I can't remember.
I wish this New Jersey man well, because I think he should win. And Amazon's turning into a real brute of a company.
Well, you know,
did you hear that they put $1.5 million into a super PAC? And a super PAC, you think, okay, federal presidential election. No, this super PAC was designed to win the city council up for the city of Seattle, because Bezos was trying to worm his way out of paying taxes to the city as the city's biggest employer by taking control of the council. Well, like, what a weasel! Like, I mean, that's just corporate bad behavior. Anyways, I guess that's part of what makes a guy like that an industrialist, is that they get the sense of entitlement to the point where they feel that they are within their right to, to acquire a greater right than anybody else because they employ a bunch of people.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
So I'm coming in on the train today, right?
Yes.
And I look over and I see the logo Apple.
Okay.
And then next to that logo, there's another building, and it says Apple Storage, right? Now, is that, excuse me for asking this stupid question, but are they talking about storage as in computers, or storage as in you go over there and you park your furniture?
Well, first of all, there are no stupid questions.
Thank you, James.
Except that one. That was one dumbass question.
Was it?
Oh, God.
So it's got nothing to do with furniture.
Let me ask you this.
What?
The Apple on the Apple store that you saw, did it look like the logo of the Apple on the Apple storage store?
No. Oh, maybe it's a different Apple. Maybe that. Okay.
I rest my case.
Okay.
There are no stupid questions except that one. Here's a stupid question. Can you survive a double lung transplant if your lungs collapse due to vaping? Not you particularly, but can anybody?
Can anyone?
Can anybody? So doctors performed a double lung transplant on a patient with a vaping illness at the Henry Ford Health System.
And he's doing okay?
Well, he's still breathing, because they're still referring to him in the current tense as opposed to the past tense.
Sure.
But
Sure.
the operation is a breakthrough, and many health experts are also using it to warn the public about the potential dangers of vaping. So in other words, don't start vaping because you think there's a spare set of lungs just waiting for you to have a double
Well, to
lung
get a
transplant.
spare set of lungs, someone's got to step aside, right?
Well, or you grow them.
Grow some lungs.
Grow some lungs. Like, grow some balls, you weak-ass mother. Grow some lungs, you light-winded pussy. I don't know. I'm going to start a lung farm, I've decided. Instead of honey crisp apples and alpacas.
Maybe you should start a lunge farm instead of a lung farm.
What's a lunge?
Well, you add an E to lung and you get lunge.
Yeah, but what is a lunge? Do that again? Yeah, it was pretty quick. I couldn't even see you moving.
I know, because I lunged.
That's right.
That was not a plunge.
Not a plunge? And what's a plunge? That didn't look like a plunge.
No, a plunge is just like...
Would you have to plunge from view?
There's your plunge right there.
I don't think that's a plunge.
That's a plunge.
That's a lower. Okay, we'll give that a plunge.
Okay.
Anyways, so at least they're replacing lungs now. Boy, you've got to think you really screwed yourself up if you're getting a double lung transplant.
You know what? Just about everything that happens to just about everybody has already happened to somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, there really aren't there are very few new.
Just in case you're wondering where I'm getting all my tidbits of news in the cannabis space, I'm reading hightimes.com. Hightimes.com CEO Craig is going to be our guest on our show in California next week, so join us for that. We're going to be having all kinds of interesting people on our show in California next week. We're going to shoot one day live from the Lowell Cannabis Cafe in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's going to be fun.
Well,
no, I won't be
miss
smoking
you.
weed. What do you mean you're going to miss me?
I'm going to miss you.
Oh, I see, because you're not coming. You lost your passport, I understand.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Anyway, you know what?
And here's the bud shot of the day from High Times. Just take a look at that monster.
Is that from you?
Nope, this is from hightimes.com.
That's a beauty.
It's a beauty, eh?
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful, eh?
Wow.
High Times. High yielding. What? Whoa, what is this? Auto flower strain. Doesn't say what exactly. 47XL auto.
That preserves a powerful hybrid vigor.
Vigor. Anyways, so there you have it. The cannabis industry takes another leg down. In summary, bad news. More earnings are going to be reported. I don't know if we could call them earnings, but we're going to cover the earnings of Village Farms, Aurora, T-God, Canopy, Tilray, and we just did Kronos Group. We'll come back with an analysis of the notes on Kronos, and other than that, we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it.